Alright, greetings Panadians, and welcome to a general explanation about the Mystic Frontier content that just got added to the version 265 patch. To access Mystic Frontier, you have to do the following. You need to activate 10 badges at the minimum to unlock 3 of your familiar slots. Once those are unlocked, you'll have a little phone icon on the left side of your screen. From there, click it, go through all the prompts. And if anyone's doing this for the first time while they're watching this video and you see a little bit of a thing that shows that you can get a free Genesis badge for free, ignore that. That is leftover code from Maple C's April Fool's event. Yeah, of course Nexon left that over while monetizing the heck out of this. But besides the point, to get to Mystic Frontier, all you gotta do is open your familiar UI, as I just had. For some reason, it's very laggy for this patch. Go to your Mystic Frontier tab at the very middle. And then you'll have the following. You'll have 3 waves. These are going to be your presets. I'm just going to keep calling them waves just for simplicity's sake. So, from this UI, you'll have Expedition on the right. I'll cover that in a bit. And then we have your general information that you'll need for your setup on the left-hand side. What you see is element and type. This means this is a poison element, and I'm going to assume that's animal or beast. But if you didn't look at this one and you're working on the setup in general, if you hover over this, you'll see that right on the right side of the familiar icon is going to be on top for elemental and the bottom for type. So that's what those are going to be. Then you'll have action points. Action points all come as 20 points as a base limit if they're level 1. From what I can see, I'll probably have a picture up on screen right now. Depending on what your sword stat is, you'll get a certain amount. So for example, if you're at 7, that is going to have 6 divided by 2, which will give you 3. And if you have 8, that's 8 divided by 2 is 4, so that'll give you 24. So for every 2 swords, you'll get 1 extra action points. If you want more, all you gotta do is keep leveling up new specific tiered familiars to try and reroll this one. These stats go up by each level that you trained them at, which you can do by just killing mobs within your area while these familiars are summoned. If you like the familiars that you have right now and you don't want to delete them and remake new ones, you can do Breakthrough. Breakthrough can only be done at Unique, and you have to spend NX to buy the Breakthrough ticket from the cash shop. So there's a bit of a paywall for that one. Honestly, personally speaking, so long as you spend the time to get good attribute lines, you can get some that can work together that'll supersede the need to actually do the breakthrough. But if you really want to, you can. Oh, as for the available dice, I will have a screenshot up right now, but in case I don't, available dice is dependent on the tier of the familiar. For example, if it's common, you'll have 3. If you're rare, you have 4. If you're epic, you'll have 5. And do I have a unique one? Yes, I have a unique one, and that one gives you 6. I do not know if there's anything for legendary, because I can't access it in Reboot. If anyone can allow me to have the information, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll include that in a pinned comment. But from there, we got element, type, action points, and available dice. If anyone's wondering how to get the attributes, all you have to do is go to Overview, go to Info, and then click on a familiar. Oh, wait, no. Click on this little tab right here, and it'll allow you to get to the attribute side. Or you can just press the Interact button to get to it, which actually seems to have a better response time. But just to give you a demo, here's me opening. Open 10 of these common familiars. And switch over. Oh, if you're wondering why your Unlock Potential All button doesn't show up, is because you're more than likely have all of them revealed, or you have them locked. For some reason, if you have the familiars locked, you cannot unlock the potential. So click on Unlock Potential All, or do them one by one if you have them locked. You have to pay mesos, of course. And from there, you can see which ones you got. We got Beast type familiar. We got all familiars active in a line of different elements. Oh, wow. Actually, this one's actually pretty good. Yeah, so you can actually get some pretty good ones just by from comments. Because this one, to those who know what I mean by why this one's good, if all familiars in their active lineup have a different element, you get automatically +1 dice every round and an automatic multiplier of 1.2. Multipliers are very nice. They're very nice. Once your expeditions are completed and they're currently resting, if you want to reduce the amount of time it takes for them to rest, or reduce the amount of time it takes for them to explore, there's going to be a reduce time button for each version. For resting, there's a reduce time, and exploring, there's a rest time. If you click on it, you'll be prompted to use gold coins or silver coins. To get these specific gold and silver coins, you can access them by going to the shop and purchasing them from the Frontier tab with Frontier coins that you obtain from completing expeditions. The gold ones reduce it by 8%, while the silver reduced by 4%. Personally, I would actually never buy these, mostly because, well, it doesn't seem worth it. I would personally save my familiar points for the actual node stones. The full list will be on screen right now, but they're actually kind of worth it. They're like ride or die node stones, but a little more available, since you could just get 3 of these per a week on your world. Alright, as for the actual expeditions, expeditions can be sent out every 24, 12, 9, 8, and I think 6 hours, depending on the rarity of what they are. So, to give you an example, let's go to Wave 2. This one I came back. Oh, and just note, this one just came back. So, although I think this is a bug, on the patch notes they say every day the expeditions are supposed to re-roll by themselves. But, unfortunately, this either is a bug or mislabeled on the patch notes, because if you see right here, it only re-rolled once it came back. I don't have evidence of it right now, but just you're going to have to trust my word on that one. So, before we get to do expedition, you got to do your lineup, and then click on the expedition question mark. It'll re-roll, and we got a rare, common, and an epic. Obviously, since you only get 15 runs per week, and these are shared across the entire world, specifically, like, for example, if I'm in Heroic server on Chronos, every single one of them will share a total count of 15. So you have to do these sparingly on which characters that you want to do this on. So, if you don't like these, you can reset. And if the game functioned normally, all you would have to do is wait for the daily reset to happen, and you will be able to get a free reroll. But, unfortunately, it's bugged. And, from there, you'll see that it's recommended that you have an ice or a beast. I'm assuming that is beast type, because we can't highlight to see what it is, because Nexon doesn't give us a list, nor do they actually let us highlight these. So, since I have the beast on one of them, I honestly don't know the significance of the recommended, but for the time being, we're going to click this one, click depart, and this will take a total of 12 hours. Alright. So, generally speaking, on your first entry, you will get some 1 or 2 items at the start. So the one I was given, this is actually pretty good. I got a free plus 1.6 final multiplier for my expedition. And I'll have a picture on screen right now. These 3 icons mean different things. You have a sword, binoculars, and a heal symbol. Personally speaking, I would either do the following priority. Since we're at the lower stage, we only have a set amount of action points that we can start off with. If you can heal at the start, that'd be good. For example, if I click the heal, I can gamble 9 free action points, or 1 if I fail, or I could just choose to get 4 automatically. Or, since we actually have a higher tiered one, I believe this one is advanced, I'll have a picture up again. We click on it, we'll see that it costs 21 to get a blue pouch, 19 to get a 19 pouch. And these are both regular glowing pouches. These are the lowest tier for 18 and 21 action points. So what you want to do is either spend the lowest amount for the highest ranked pouch. If there are all the same pouches, you just take whichever's cheapest. Or if you don't feel confident that you'll be able to get enough, you're going to want to get action points to restore it so you can have more for later on. But since you cost 21 and you give me a blue, since we have 63, each progressive round, 2, 3, 4, and 5, will cost more than the one before it. So you have to ration your amounts. That is why I'm recommending that some people use the heals early on. And honestly, since you only get 9 if you succeed and 1 if you fail, I personally will think I'll skip this. Oh, and by the way, for the heal ones, all 3 of the different versions of these tiles will actually allow you to get a free item towards the end. Even if you fail, you'll still get an item. Sometimes you will get an extra bonus dice, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll get a clock that will reduce the amount of time it will take for it to either rest or reduces the expedition time in general. So, just to give you an example of round 1, I'm going to go for the blue pouch. It costs 21, so it's going to cost me 1/3 of my action points. We got to get a total of 26 or more. And I got a 1, 5, and 2. If my first and third dice add up to 6 or more, I get +8. If I roll a 4 at all, I get a multiplier of 1.3. If my second die rolls an even number, I get a +1 multiplier. Since I got nothing good, this is a perfect example for me to showcase what the reroll is. Reroll is essentially allowing you to reroll any amount of dice a total of 3 times for the entirety of that expedition's minigame. Not 3 dices, 3 entire sets or less. So, since I need to change all of them, I need an even number in the middle. Reroll. I got an even number. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to get a lot of bonus for this one. And the attributes will automatically add up only if they meet the criteria, which I believe 2 of them did. And since I got a 54, I got higher than the difficulty rating, which means I won. And that will allow me to automatically get the pouch that was advertised in that bracket. And then you will also, as I mentioned, get a free dice. This one gives me +1 total and plus 1.4 multiplier. Multipliers are going to be very good, especially if you have a lot of easy attributes that give you free total cube totals. So, from there, we got no heals. We got 42 left. These are both glowings. These are glowing. And these are glowing. So, that means all of these are pretty much garbage. Which means I'm going to want to pick the cheapest with less difficulty. Since this one actually has a chance to just allow you to go straight through without running the game. You will only pick these if either your attributes are bad, or if you didn't get a lot of free easy dice. Since I got decent amount of dice, I can pretty much do whatever at the start. So, 25, 25, 24, 24, and 23, 26. This one is 23, so it's cheapest, but you have to win the dice. But this one is epic tier, so I'm going to pick this one. I'm probably addressing it as epic incorrectly, but for the time being, I'm just going to address it by the color of the block, as respective of potential cubes. So I'm just going to call them the epic. Since they're both 24 and I got to win, it doesn't really matter. I got to get 29 or higher, which shouldn't be that hard. Alright. So the first and the third add up to 8, so I'll get a +8. I want to roll the middle for an even. I'm probably wasting this, but just to showcase you guys the mechanics. And we got 1 reroll left. I'm going to save that for later. This one should allow me to win regardless. Multiplier. +1 total multiplier again, and barely. Alright. Oh, and see, perfect example. We got a stopwatch. This will reduce my expedition time by 10%. So that'll, since this one's 12 hours, this one will be 1.2 hours faster. I'm probably saying that wrong. But next round, we have no heals again, unfortunately, because I have 18 action points left. That means this is going to be my last round. Even though I have 18, and you'll see that this costs 30, this costs 28, this one costs 28, 31, and this one's 28, 31, it doesn't matter. You'll still be able to complete it because it's your last one. The game will automatically let you through. So pick which one you think you can get. So these are both glowing, the lowest tier. That one's blue, this one's nothing. This one's blue. all of which I have to complete a dice. That's 28. I'm going to assume action point is going to be reflective of how much of the difficulty it is going to be, including how many action points you spent. So, since this one's blue, but this one's 28 versus this one that is 30, I will go for the 28 one, and assuming it's easier. And I might have been wrong. That is 77. I'm probably going to lose this one. Okay. Ooh, okay, wait, hold up. 4 and 2 equals 6, so that's good. And the middle's an even number. Yeah, the middle is even number, so that's good. And since we've rolled a 4, I'll get the 1.1 multiplier, so I don't even need to touch this at all. So I should get all the attributes. Ah, okay, so there might be a bug. I think the ones that say if your total or more dice rolls are wrong. Someone on Reddit posted that that therefore means it's supposed to be above that. I think it's just mislabeled, I guess. But, well, future lessons, I guess. Right, but that means I won the last one. And that means we'll get a blue bag and a dice. Unfortunately, this dice would have been nice to have earlier because it gives me plus 1.6 multiplier. But you'll get a completed icon once you're done, and as you saw, that the fact that I got a stopwatch, it reduced in my runtime by 1.2 hours, so that's a little bit nice. And these are the rewards that you're going to be getting. These say expected obtained items. That's sort of incorrect. You're gonna 100% get the items out of the pouches. It's just that the expected items are reflective of you clicking the return button. If you click the return button, it will cancel the expedition, and you will have to spend 70% of your leftover time in order for it to come back. And you'll lose all the items. So you will only do this if you don't like what you got and want to rerun immediately. I'm pretty sure the returning and canceling it still causes it to use the total run. So I would just leave it alone personally. Okay. And as for strategies, I'm going to switch to a different character to showcase this. Alright, now that we're on the Bowmaster, I can show you a blank one. So just use this one as an example. We have another 12-hour one. Requires electric, and I'm going to assume undead or zombie, whatever you want to call that. So you click that one, and then you click setup. Going to setup, you can actually look at what you have. So, just given a scenario, this one says prevents dice from rolling over 3. Wait, that sounds very bad, actually. And this one can only go up to 3. So, we don't want that. Let's see. First and second dice match, that's kind of hard to do. You would only ever really do this if you have, like, very low familiars. Like, for example, this one's epic, so I'll get 5 dice. If I were to do a bunch of commons and rares, these can only roll low numbers, so technically, statistically, you can roll 2 dice that are the same number, a little bit of a higher chance. I would still personally never use that, though. So, let's do another one for example. Ice Elemental Familiar. If I have an ice type, Ice Elemental, I would probably try and use that, but since I don't, we'll skip it. First and second dice match, first and third dice match. None of these. If all 3 dice roll a 4, and you get it, there's a big benefit, but I personally wouldn't use it because getting 3 4s is kind of rare, unless you have a bunch of commons. Then I would try, but otherwise, no. Oh, these are my favorite. These are my favorite because if you actually look at it, it says if you roll a second dice roll on an odd number, you get a total of 3, and you get a multiplier. These are personally my favorite kinds. So keep that one. And this one is first and second dice if they match. Once again, I can't use that because it's very low chance. And this one has a 24% chance to roll a 3 or 4 for each plant, fairy, or mechanical type. This one you would actually pair it up if you actually have those respective type of familiars to actually synergize with this one. Ultimately, you want your attributes to synergize. The element and type for the actual dungeon requirement, you can technically ignore until we figure out what ultimately it does. I'm going to assume it gives you a number advantage or lowers the difficulty of stuff. But yeah, so from there, unfortunately, this character doesn't have a lot of good familiars, so I can't really do a lot of good combinations. But let's take a look at my previous one. This one I previously sent out, but it had the current ones. If a second dice roll rolls an even number, this is a very good one because you have a 50-50 chance of actually getting this one to actually activate. This one is if all your familiars lined up have a different element. Remember, element is the leftmost one as well as the topmost on the actual icon if you hover. So this one has, I'm assuming that's holy. Undead. And this one has no type at all. So I'll automatically always get +1 and I'll get the multiplier. Ideally, you want to get a dice total and a multiplier, but if you can get a multiplier on of its own, that's a guarantee, that's easy to roll, I would do that as well. And the last one is if a dark elemental familiar is on your active lineup. This one is dark, so I will always get +4. And so from there, that's pretty much what you have to work with. Ideally, if you want to use your familiars that you're using in your current presets, like for example, I have a bunch of ID familiars on my Bowmaster for bossing, and I have some for drop. You will be unable to put those familiars that are active in a preset for your bossing or other waves into another wave's preset. So if you want to do that while you're not bossing on a boss mule, remove all your familiars and put them in here. Only if you need to use them. Other than that, you can't really do much about it besides rolling more familiars. And unfortunately, everyone has uniques right now. The only way to get to higher tier is to get a respectively ranked up familiar to unique, epic, or legendary if you're in regular server after the patch, which is of this recording of this video. So there's going to be a lot of stuff you need to mess with. Ultimately, the strategies that you can do is to try and heal at the start. If you can't, spend the least amount of points for the highest ranked bag on the highest ranked tier of the actual bracket that you'll actually see from those tiles. Other than that, if there's any other questions about Mystic Frontier that I haven't answered or I skimmed over or I was too fast about, please let me know down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. But with that being said, thanks for watching and support. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.